Okie dokie, hello for the fourth time, I think, for another Blender tutorial. We're going to be continuing with our Fluttershy model. Yes, I did finally get it put back together after it crashed. I don't know why it crashed, but I put it back together, and this is, if I remember, pretty much where we were. We'd done the main tail wings. Currently, our Fluttershy model looks a bit like this. I forgot to go and retexture the wings, my bad. Yet again, I've done exactly what I did last time. Let me see if I can real quickly, go and grab all the pieces. Oops, not that. All the pieces of the wings. Just so we can get back to exactly where we were before my OpenGL driver decided to crash. That was slightly annoying, as you can very well imagine. Yeah, you can imagine. New group. Wings in caps lock. Material, body, assign. Shift Z. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to be saving a ton in this one because I don't want it to crash again. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to actually rig the model. Unless there's something that I'm actually forgetting, which I hope there's not. Just doing a little bit of adjustment. Like that. Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and rig the model. Yeah. So, what do you say we go ahead and get started? Shift C, put our cursor back in the center. And from right there, we're going to go Shift A, add an armature, and add a single bone. Our single bone is not visible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the one that looks like a little person in our tab over here on the right. We're going to click X-ray. Now this is going to be a little bit confusing because you're going to be able to see it from every which way. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take tab into edit mode, grab this single bone, grab it all the way down to the bottom, rotate it that way. I'm going to scale it up. This is going to achieve several things. This is going to be our master bone. So if we go to the panel that looks like a little bone, we'll name this master. What this is going to do is whenever you grab this bone and grab it, it will move the entire model. Because of how we're going to set all this up, it's going to be the easiest way to move the model around in an animation. Alright, tab back into edit mode. We go Shift A, and we grab the entire bone. We turn off that. And we're just going to start putting a skeleton to our model. Yeah, again, I ate right before I did this. So as we go through and put all the bones in, we're going to name them all. This one's going to be the first piece of the spine. I usually do the spine in 3 parts, the neck in 1 part. I usually put a couple pieces in the tail. Yeah, so we're going to put, I mean, if you know better ways to rig up skeletons, then by all means, please do that. This is the tutorial that I had found. I can put a link if you want to see it. Basically, I'm just putting bones roughly where normal bones would actually be. Spine 03. Wait. only one for the neck. Pull it up to about right there. Yeah. I still actually need to get a better facial rig built, but it's the best that I can actually come up with. Alright, that's the general that I'll just about always do for the back and neck and head. The ear, well, let's go ahead and do the tail next. I'm going to do the tail in just a couple of parts. There we go. Alright. Tail 01, 02. Wouldn't that be funny if I actually have gone through and renamed or named all these different things? 03. Yep, I did. And I think I've forgotten which tail's which. There's two types of tails, at least. Tail, as in a story, and tail as in a tale. I think I might have swapped them around. Alright, that's our 6 tail pieces. That'll actually work really, really nicely. Next we're going to take and do the bone for the ears. Shift A. Put it in where the ear is. Starting right there. That ought to do nicely. Go and do some legs now. Yep, that's in the right spot. Alright. Add a bone. Make sure that it's in the right spot for where the legs actually are. Yes. Alright. And on the legs, we're going to be doing a couple special features. We're going to be doing inverse kinematics on the legs to make them a bit more realistic in their actual movement. Same thing on the front legs. Just to make them as easy to rig as possible. Well, not easy to rig, but as realistic movement as possible. Let me see here. I knew I did that a little bit wrong. Yeah. So we're going to need these 2 bones right here coming out of this joint. I've completely forgotten which joint that is. I think that's basically the hand. This is basically the hand. That's in essence the fingers. The forearm, upper arm. We're not going to add a shoulder. Or are we? Yeah, I think we need a shoulder. A bone to be the shoulder. Armature, let me see here. Yeah, alright, I did this a little bit backwards, of course. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do at all. And I gotta redo the back legs. Of course. Alright. We're gonna add shoulder and hip both. If I remember right, this does make it a tad bit more realistic. So it's basically putting bones where you think bones should be. And if you've ever done any work with rigging and stuff, this should be pretty much second nature to you. Yes, it took me forever to get most of this down. Rigging, especially, well, the tutorial that I found the first time was rigging a bipedal model. Quadruped models are a little bit more difficult, let me tell you. Also, one thing, we're only going to rig half the model, and we're going to duplicate it back to the other half. Going to make it easier. Yeah. So, one function with this, anything that's on the left side, like we got the front shoulder, name the shoulder dot L if it's on the left. We're going to do this is when we go and it did not save that. When we go and flip everything to the other side, we'll run a function that'll actually rename everything to the right side. Sorry, I seem to not be able to talk and type at the same time, because I'll usually either type what I'm saying or say what I'm typing, both of which are a little bit weird. And yes, I'm naming it hand, even though it's not. Alright, and this bone, this odd protruding bone, is going to be the front ik.l. On both this bone and the bone in the back, uncheck the deform box. This bone is not going to actually be able to modify the mesh at all. Make sure that's checked, or unchecked. Make sure it's not able to modify. Hip.l, and yes, I know hips are not two bones, but on our model it is. Yeah, we'll name it that, I don't care. Foot.l, I guess that would make this toes.l? I don't know. And this is rear ik.l. Alright. And let's not forget our ear. Ear.l. Let's see here. Two other bones we need to, or a couple other bones we need to add. We need to do the wings as well. But up here in the front, add a bone. 2 bones, actually. Like that. What these are the, well, in the modifier that we're going to do, these are going to be, pull rear.l. These are going to be what these group of bones actually track to. It's going to make it to where you can rotate legs around just a little bit better. It's actually required for the inverse kinematics rig. And make sure they're spaced fairly far in front of the model, and they're spaced between them. The back one is closer to the model, the front one's further away. The other thing we need to add is I need to add a couple bones in the mouth. Wow, that's almost the right spot. It's wonderful. Shift A, scale it down. Shift A, scale that down to this is mostly an experimental facial rig. I haven't entirely gotten it figured out. So yeah, if you know facial rigs, do whatever facial rig you want to do. Yeah. Yeah, believe me, this is a very much experimental rig. Hey, but that's great, isn't it? Experiment on camera. Upper lip. And yes, we are able to do that because this is a lip.l, that's upper lip, and that's upper lip.l. Oopsie. My bad. Alright. Alrighty. I haven't tried this, so I'm not 100% sure if it works right. Yay, another experiment that I'm trying. I'm pretty sure I can add a bone right here, and it will actually track the eyes. Oh no, I did it again. Grr, I did it again. Okie dokie. Yeah, okay, I figured it out why it does that. Alright, this is gonna be a jump cut right here. When it's back to right where I just was, you'll rejoin me, no matter what. Alrighty, I've fixed my catastrophe, and I'm right back where we were. Alright, let's continue with what I was doing. Yeah, extra special jump cut. Woo! Alright, what I was doing is I was going to put a bone that'll actually control the eye, or like where Fluttershy's looking. What I was going to do is going to render it up, make sure I was right about in the center, which I am. This is taking a lot more memory than it did earlier. Alright, and then I actually need one, if I remember correctly, one for the upper eyelid and one for the lower eyelid. Let me see if I can actually, this is brand new experimentation. I wish I knew if it worked, but I don't know if it'll actually work. Yeah, let's hope it works. Hope for the best, right? The only thing left is the main, and we're gonna add that in, or Shift C3, the bones that'll control the main. We're gonna start those right now. Yeah. And you may wonder why you want bones to control the main. It's because, well, I put them in in case you want some effect like the main's moving around. These bones will let you do that. Like, if there's wind in your animation, and you want Fluttershy's main to actually move around accurately, then these bones will let you do that. More or less. Alrighty. Going name mains. We don't need left and right because there's only one main. 03. U04. 05. Yes, this is where I'm talking, what I'm writing. Main U06. Alright, now the bottom. Main lower. 02. 03 and 04. Alright. The only thing left is the wings. And this is starting to get a little bit messy. But Fluttershy needs wings, does she not? Oh no. Now I get a little skittish every time I accidentally start rendering. Isn't that bad? We need, I guess we'll actually extrude one from right there. If I could manage to figure out what on earth I'm looking at. Yeah, I will admit this is only the second Pegasus model that I have ever done. Ever. So, yeah, bear with me if it's not an amazing Pegasi. Grab. Move it right about there. Alright. Wing shoulder. Who knew you could have two shoulders? I don't even know how that would work structurally for a real skeleton. Wing upper arm dot L. Wing forearm dot L. Color 01 dot L. 02 dot L. And 03 dot L. Alright. There we go. That's actually all of our bones. Well, until we go and duplicate everything, this is all the bones. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select all the bones on the left side of the model, this side over here. We're going to do that. The easiest way is use C, just run through, select all the left-sided bones. Make sure not to select any bones that are in the middle. And yeah, you know what we're doing. Alright, well, maybe you don't. I'm selecting bones I don't need selected. Alright, there we go. Yes, I think that's all the bones. Alright, now what we're going to do with all the one side bones selected, we're going to go in top view, we're going to do Shift C, make sure our 3D cursor is in the very center. We're going to hit the period, which is going to tell to move around the 3D cursor instead of around the collective center of our selected area. We're going to hit Shift D, S, X, and -1. Enter. This is perfectly duplicated where all the bones are onto the right side of the model. As long as we've been building the model in the very, very center of Blender, this is going to work perfectly. I probably should have mentioned that in one of the like in the first video, that it's crucial to be building it in the center of the model, but I didn't mention that. Yeah. So let's hope you've been building it in the very center of the Blender. Now what we're going to do is we have all these names like upper wing arm .L001. That's not going to work. So go to the armature and where is it? Go up to flip names. And everything that had that .L extension now has a .R extension. So I can go here, this is a foot.R, a calf.R, upper leg.R, forearm, rear pole, front pole, all that. It's all been put to the right side. Now, now the fun part. We get to actually add, let me save. We get to go and add the inverse kinematics rigs. Yeah, because right now our model is a little bit difficult to move. Somehow turned. We can take our 3D cursor off of that by hitting the comma button, and we're going to go into pose mode. Pose mode is where you have to apply all of your functions to the bones. So what we're going to do is we're going to select we're going to start on the front left. We're going to select the IK bone, front left IK bone, and then the front left forearm. We're going to go to the bone and chain panel, or the bone constraints. We're going to add a inverse kinematics constraint. It's under the tracking panel. Alright, so it's got a target, a pull target. We're going to select the target as an armature. We're going to select the bone. Wait, no. The target. Oh, I remember this. No. It's been just a little while. Bone needs to be the front IK. Yes. The pole target is going to be an armature. Front pole .L. Set the chain length to 2. And set the pole angle. This one needs to be set at -90. Somehow all of mine end up needing to be set at -90. The tutorial that I watched, the guy said, his were like 45 and other stuff like that, so I don't entirely know how it figures out, or all that. Yeah. Alright. A bug on my screen. Alright. So what this has done now... Oh, that's bad. Wait. What this has done now... Yep, I knew it. Oh. Right. Need to go back into edit mode. Alrighty now. What am I missing? What am I losing? Oh, it's objects. Bones. Alright. One thing I forgot to mention is in edit mode, the IK cannot have a parent. So go and remove the parent bone from the IK, and then set the hand parent to the front IK. No. Alright, I gotta look at my other model. This is annoying. Alright, look at my rig. Yes, I've been doing animation. Alright, how's this guy rigged? Yeah. Alright. That one has no parent. That one's parented to the front IK. Alright. That's what I thought. That one has no parent. This guy's parent to front IK. Wait a second. Control P, make parent, keep offset. Alright, there we go. Sorry. Screen displays. Alright. My bad. Alright. The IK cannot have a parent, like this. And the hand, what you'll do is you go to your IK. Oops, I forgot to uncheck deform. Alright, go to the IK, delete the parent, click the hand, delete the parent, hold shift, click the IK, control P, keep offset. Same thing on the back. Delete the parents, IK, or hand, IK, keep offset. Hand, IK, keep offset. Alright, deform is turned off. These front bones get no deform as well, since they're not even anywhere close to the model. Make sure they're not able to deform the model in any way either. Alright, now we're back. Alright, now the bone. Oh man. Alright. Wait. Let's try resetting this guy. Alright. The IK, next bone up, add a bone constraint, inverse kinematics. Target is an armature. The bone is the front IK.L. Pull target is not the body. Pull target's the armature. Need the front pull.L. Chain length of 2. Offset of -90. Alright. No. It's actually, yes, -90. There we go. Now it looks about right. There we go. Alright. So, what all this complication is enabled to do is grab the IK bone, this front IK. If you grab it and move it, Blender will actually animate it like a skeleton. So you don't have to pose all the individual bones, all that. It will just automatically figure out, based upon where you're moving the one, where the other one should be. Alt. Oh, Alt-G. There we go. And, like, let me take, for example, the pole bones, these guys up here. If we have our leg set something like that, if I start moving this over, it's going to track this bone's location. The leg is actually moving around trying to figure out, black screen, where this thing's pointing at. Alt-G. Alt-G. Alright. Sorry for all that confusing complication, but we gotta do the exact same thing to the other 4 legs. Alright. Need the front IK right, armature, front pole right, chain length of 2, angle offset is going to be, I believe, -90, yet again, yep. And we've got another leg set up the exact same way. Same thing on the back. Yeah, I do have the right bones. There's kinematics, armature, rear IK left, armature, rear pole target left, offset of 2, or chain length of 2, offset, -90, Last one. Inverse kinematics, armature, bone. So IK rear right, armature, bone, rear pole right, chain link 2, offset of -90. There we go. All 4 legs are done up in the exact same fashion. We can move our legs around. Just like that. I've just posed 4 bones, or 4 legs, moving only 4 bones. Oop, no. It's not what I wanted to do. Alright. Save. And we're well on our way to having a completed model. Pretty much the last thing to do is apply the skeleton to the model. How we're going to do that is we're going to select the skeleton, select the model. No, I did that backwards. Select the model, then select the skeleton. Control P, parent, or set parent to armature deform with automatic weights. Now what this is going to do is Blender is going to try and figure out the best weights for each bone based on the model. And we can see that mostly in action if we select our mesh and then say we'll move this back left leg. We grab it and start moving. Blender has done its best to figure out how each bone, how much of the mesh each bone gets to control. It looks like it's actually controlling it fairly well. Well, this one's actually doing not half bad. I've had some models where it doesn't do near as good. If you'll notice though, it hasn't affected the tail or subsequently the mane in any fashion. Did the face actually work right? I can't move the face. Why not? I may have to figure that out in just a minute. Oh, it sure has affected the eye. Oh, there we go. It's too much calculation. Can't figure out the face. Snap element. Oh, there we go. So I can move her mouth around. Open wide, Fluttershy. That looks slightly disturbing. We'll put all that back. Alright. Now one big recommendation is if you do not have a awesome, powerful, fast computer, like mine is starting to really slow down. Whenever I start moving bones around that are connected to the mesh, it will really slow down. Usually I'll go and add the simplify, which will pick my speed all the way back up. Nice and smooth movement. Whereas if I undo simplify, it becomes really, really jumpy. Because my computer is working insanely powerful to figure out where to move these several 100,000 vertices. Whereas if you're in simplify, it doesn't have near as many vertices to figure out. Now, granted, it won't look quite the same, but if you've got a lower-end computer... Now, I'm not saying mine is a low-end computer. This computer cost me nearly $1,000. Or, computer is valued at... The computer itself is valued at about $1,800 if you were to go buy it right now. It'd be about $1,800 computer. But models are a little bit complicated for even the great Blender to handle, or the great computer to handle. Now I'm noticing if I go and turn X-ray off, well, for one, I can no longer quite select what I need to. It's not quite. Oh, that would be why. Oh man, I was afraid of that. The wing finger bones aren't entirely in the right spot. Which means I need to come over here. Object. I need to turn off the armature. Alrighty. 1 second. I did this wrong. Alright, good. We'll close that one without saving it. Because what I did is the wing bones aren't in the right spot. Yeah, my mistake. My bad. And I applied it and it didn't quite put the wing bones in the right spot. Or, it didn't give them the right amount of mesh. Alright. That looks a little bit better. Alright, my apologies. Tab. Control tab, select the body, select the armature, Control P, automatic weights. Go back in tab. There we go, now we're able to modify the wings a little bit better. Alright. The other thing is we need to go do the same to the tail. Select the mesh, select the armature, Control P, automatic weights. The same thing again on the main. Select the mesh, armature, Control P, automatic weights. Now our entire model is mapped to the skeleton. And why I suggested that you take and set this master bone is I'm in edit mode right now, or I'm in object mode. If I grab this master bone, start moving it, it's going to move everything. Which in animation, this makes it 1,000,000 times easier. I've already lost track of how long this video's been going, but for all practical sake, this model is finished. Finally, yay, right? About 4 hours. It took me so much longer to get all this down. Granted, if I come up here, you will have to do a little bit of weight painting. If you really want another video, I can go and make another video and show you how to do weight painting. All these little guys need to be parented to that guy. I just realized that. Alright. I can move the little curl on the end of the mane. Just stuff like that. So, that pretty much wraps it up, actually. If I get enough comments saying, hey, can you actually go and show us how to do weight painting? Then, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. But, for all practical purposes, I can take from this view, Shift Z, render it up, and we've got a Fluttershy. Isn't that so cute? We got a little Fluttershy. I'm so adorable. No, she's so adorable. To make it where you can see it a little bit better, I'll add a plane, scale it up, render it up again, and there we go. That's Fluttershy. My lamp is set to a lamp. Set that to the sun, and there you go. There's Fluttershy rendered up in full glory. So yeah, it only took us 4 tutorials, 2 Blender crashes, having to redo the model 3 times, but we got Fluttershy done. 108,250 vertices, 108,297 faces, 7 objects, chewing up 65.53 megabytes of memory. There you go. Oh no. Peak 121.43 memory. Yeah, there you go. That's Fluttershy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more tutorials, or more just anything, feel free to subscribe. If you like this if you like this tutorial, feel free to leave a like. I do enjoy comments. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking out over my very long tutorial series thing. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, that's really that's really about all I can say. Is I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know I did. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, really. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time when I figure out something else to do. That's about it. Signing off. I guess. I don't know. That is so lame. So overused. Yeah. Bye, guys.